Okay, well, we're back now, and you have to put a tiny hole in the top. And for fun, I counted the rivets. There were 15 rivets by 10, and that's the center point. Of course, you could just use a ruler, but there were rivets there, and I'm just trying to mark the spot. And, sometimes you do things and it's just fun. Even though it may not be, you get the right result, but just didn't feel like doing it the formal way or making more of a mark than it had to be. And that's, again, to put this kind of pantograph on. I found another kind of pantograph. This is the arm pantograph. But for this, I think this does the job better. It's got the visible springs. A little more interesting looking, complicated. And we'll drill that little hole. I've also been tinkering with how I'm going to put at least one light bulb in. I think I'm going to leave this side alone. That's the way the kit was. This is clearly a piece missing, so that'll be where I'll put the light bulb. And of course, in the last episodes, we were able to successfully get the gear slippage stopped. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a recurrent problem or not. But if it is, and if it's caused by the same little plastic crosses that go on the axle, then I would actually have to make a replacement piece out of brass and almost like maybe solder it on that axle. But that's overthinking it right now. Nothing's going on. Okay, now let's just see if that hole's in the right spot after all. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it seems to be dead on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's good. In this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So that would put it to 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. Yep, that seems pretty good. Now I'm going to have to get a tiny screw. And I have a bunch of screws which I actually finally left conveniently nearby. I picked this up at some thrift show, craft show. There's a whole bunch of screws. I don't want to turn it over because if I drop them, that's the end of them. And again, we need a screw that's going to fit in the bottom of this. It doesn't have to be incredible, and again, I'm not going to hook this up for electricity right now. Why? Because I don't have operating catenary. I do have catenary poles. I do have Lima catenary that would work for it, but it's not all set up. Now, that might be a future project to set that up on my HO layout, which is, I guess a medium-sized layout, and that would be a fun project. Right now, I'm just looking. There's all sorts of little tiny screws in here, and I'm going to try to show you. See that bunch of tiny screws, and it comes in handy for these projects. So what I'm trying to do now is fit in one of these screws. Now the most important parts of this thing are actually metal. This little pantograph. This is a pantograph. That's the apparatus on the train that reaches up. Oh, this screw bolt looks perfect. Look at that. Doesn't mean it's going to fit in there perfectly. But you can't get everything. Now, see, here's a screw that's thin enough to go in the hole that's already made. I'm going to put, but we need a screw that will grab on to that metal, that's a spring steel metal at the bottom. This little screw works as well. I want to use the smallest screw possible. As you can see, we got to put it into here now. And we got to also look and hope this is not going to affect the motor housing if it's coming down. Oh boy. That is close. That would not be good. Okay, as you can see, the little brass screws poking out of the top. That's about as high as it would have to go. And I don't think, from looking at this, that it will affect the motor housing. I mean the motor chassis. It doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it's stopping this from going down into the. Now I can't really see inside there. Oh, no, I can. It is pretty high. I could see it. I don't think I could get that on film, but it is not interfering. So all I have to do now is wind this screw out a little bit, because it's a very tight fit in there. And now I'm going to put the pantograph on top, just to line it on that little knob, little tip of the screw. And now I'm going to turn the screw back, and hopefully it grabs onto the pantograph. Oh, there she is. Well, it looks good in the down position. Looks good in the up position. It's definitely attached. It's a little loose, but that's not really important. Again, I could make the hole a little bigger. I could spend a lot of time on a different size screw, tightening up a little more. Now it's a little tighter. Let me see what this looks like under the magnification. Alright, so I'm actually gonna, it's gonna be tighter on here by winding this down. Yep. Because the screw was long enough that it was actually lifting the pantograph higher. Yeah, perfect. There you go. Right now, if we put it on, I know the screw's not going to interfere because it's so shallow in there. I mean, to the, and we now have the pantograph look. It's funny how things don't go always as you imagine, you know. This does want to move around a little bit, but again, that's not going to affect its operation in any way. If I'm actually going to run it with a pantograph and I thought, oh, it's moving a little bit, what am I going to do? I could, you know, refit the screw. But for all intents and purposes, this isn't going anywhere. And that little rotation, if I touch it, really means nothing. When you put the pantograph down, it looks great. So it's a nice little addition. And if we put this on all the way, funny how this thing's just kind of tight. Always doesn't want to sit on this just right. It's one of those odd little things. But there she goes. Now she's on. All right. And there you have it. There's the pantograph. And the pantograph is all metal, so you know. See, that magnet sticks right on it. All metal. Alright, we'll do the light another time and add that in. I guess we could test it, even though the pantograph shouldn't add anything to the operation. It shouldn't detract anything from its operation. Now, if I put a wire onto that screw, I could connect it to a contact, and if there were catenary above, that little train could pick up juice from it. You could put then a switch, a double pull, double throw switch, so that you could choose if you wanted the power to come from the catenary or from the rail. It's always going to have to get some power from the rail, but or you could just put the no switch, put a wire to the one of the contacts, and if you powered up the catenary, it would just have it would be almost like having an extra wheel that was picking up electricity. So I'm going to power the rails up. There it is. Turn power on. That's good. So, still working from the other day. Now she was missing an exhaust pipe, and that exhaust pipe was here. I don't know if that really goes anymore because of the pantograph would come down right on it or close to it. So I would just paint that over red. I was going to put a pipe. I'll put it somewhere else over here maybe as a decorative item. And for all intents and purposes, this is not going anywhere. This screw bolt is there. It's on. I guess it bothers me a little bit that it's loose. But like I said, I could always just take it out another time. I could make the hole bigger. Get a different size screw. All those kind of things. But it's more about showing the principle of what are we doing. And, when you're kit bashing, things are not exact. You can put more effort in and make them exact. And I encourage you to do that so you enjoy it. But now here's an interesting thing. See, the pantograph wobbles as it goes slow. That's interesting. So that might not be something that you'd like. I could also put a piece of rubber. I could put a piece of rubber or some plastic underneath that. In other words, pop the screw off, put that underneath, let it rest on that, and that would really prevent it from that motion. Okay, bye for now. Okay, we're back. What I ended up doing is not using the rubber or some gasket or anything. I just made the hole a tiny fraction of a bit larger with this file. Then when I put the screw in, the screw could turn independently into the frame of the pantograph without really being stuck in the roofing, and it made a tighter hold. Now it still moves a little bit, but not enough to wobble anymore. So that's pretty good. Alright, next episode, I'm going to have to put the light in. Bye for now.